like to call the meeting to order Monday, August 19th, 2013. Please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dennis Moody will open us in prayer.
Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the many blessings. We ask you to be with us through the meeting tonight. Give us wisdom, give us guidance, watch over us, guide us, and direct us. We ask you to be with those, the many in our community that have lost loved ones recently. Comfort them, be with them, and watch over them. Be with us at the meeting this evening, and we ask you to bless our nation, be with those that are overseas and protecting us. Take care of them and bring them back safely home. These things we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Please show all present here tonight. Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes from August 5th, 2013. We entertain a motion to approve those.
I move we approve them.
Have a motion from Bart Williams, our second. Second from Robert Taylor Jr. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Next item on the agenda, unfinished business. I think Bob Jones is going to give us an update on the recent medical event that occurred at the mall.
Thank you, Mayor. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we just finished Operation Healthy Delta, and I want to take tonight as an opportunity to update you on who were contributors and supporters for the U.S. Army Reserve Relief Medical event that took place at the Dyersburg Mall, and it was offered to us by Action Properties. That's Mr. A.G. Hilton, Tim Peebles, and Michelle Lynn, who was an assistant out there. They did provide two excellent storefronts that really, without their assistance in providing those, I don't know that we could have very easily hosted this event in our community. The Army National Guard, they provided furniture and a location to manufacture glasses. Local chapter of the American Red Cross, Executive Director Lynn Fritchie, they provided drink refreshments for citizens waiting in line, and they did that daily. The Northwest Tennessee Human Resource Agency, Mr. Tommy Bradbury, provided out-of-county and in-county transportation to and from the Dyersburg Mall. The City of Dyersburg Recreation Department, Mr. Andy Baker and staff provided tables and chairs, set up the furniture for them at the mall. The Dyersburg Fire Department, Chief Bob Veal, Captains Rusty Hilliard and Keith Burns assisted in some very needed fans and portable air conditioners, and assisted with bio-waste disposal. One of the area that actually provided the hands-on services, the air conditioning units were no longer working, so the Army staff did have to work under the conditions of no air conditioning. So these fans and the portable air conditioners that the fire department provided were very vital. Dyersburg Police Department Assistant Chief Steve Isbell, he worked with us to provide security at the mall. Mr. Brian Rice, Rice Electrical, he was very instrumental in helping us look at those air conditioners and other electrical maintenance issues at the site. The Dyersburg-Dyer County Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Alan Hester and Mayor Holden assisted in the recognition dinner last Sunday night for the staff. And Catfish Corner, Mr. Art McDonald, provided a final night dinner for the Army Reservist. Dyersburg Regional Medical Center, they provided assistance with the disposal of bio-waste. Mr. Kevin Anderson with Anderson Printing loaned a really excellent copier for us to use, and it was very, very needed. City Hall staff, Diane Gilliland and Lauren Dykus, they've been very, very helpful. The City Hall was a place for once the eyeglasses were manufactured at the Armory, they were brought over to City Hall, and those two ladies have been very helpful in dispensing those out to all the citizens that came in to pick them up, and these were free. Visual options, Mr. Tony Bascalupo, he loaned use of some very needed visual screening equipment due to some damaged equipment that arrived with the Army during shipping. Advertising and communicating the event to the public, the Dyersburg State Gazette, Tanya Sierra. She did several really lengthy and in-depth articles on the event. Radio announcements that were continuous through Burke's Communication, Ms. Natalie Patterson. Government Service TV and on-site video equipment, local cable channel 4, Mr. Paul Stringham at Dyersburg State Community College in the audiovisual department. The Dyer County Coordinated School Health Advisory Committee, Ms. Nancy West, helped serve as a communication distribution source to the community. I want to thank significantly Scott Ball. He assisted me in all aspects of the event. He attended several of the meetings out of town that were pre-event meetings, and Scott was always there to help them and to move the process forward when we ran into stumbling blocks. I want to thank the Delta Regional Authority. They're the ones who originally requested this event to come to our community. And remember, we were one of 4 states and 4 cities, and they were concurrent events. And we will be awaiting Captain Greenleaf will be or actually it's Lieutenant Colonel Greenleaf will be providing an official update as to all the statistics with that. The 72nd, 14th Medical Service Unit out of California and Nevada. I want to thank them for providing the direct medical, dentistry, and vision services to the citizenry of our local communities. And finally, I want to thank the Mayor and Board of Aldermen for their endorsement and overall support of this event. Here, the following are some unofficial statistics. These will change, but this is what I could gather from some leftover information from some of the staff, but we will be receiving official information down the road. They saw 420 dental patients. They saw 285 medical patients. They saw 140 visual patients. Dual patients that could have been several overlaps between visual and dental or dental and medical. There were 60. They turned away 1,455, and the majority of patients were dental patients. The percentages that I was able to glean from these unofficial statistics was we served 67% of the people that showed up for the event. So overall, I think it was a good program. The mayor was out there, and I know Tanya Sierra was there the day that the leadership with the Delta Regional Authority and the leadership with the Army Reservist, and also a colonel from the United States Air Force that was there representing the Pentagon. We discussed how important it was for this event to continue, and we assured them that we would support this anytime they could return to our community.
Any plans to do this in the future again, Bob?
Well, I think a lot of that will depend on the statistical information that they eventually, determine from the 4 cities and the 4 states. And of course, this eventually arrives at the desk of Congress.
Yeah.
So with that being said, we certainly hope so.
It's obvious the need was here, and
Absolutely. If we could do this,
resources, and maybe they'll come back.
yes, sir. If we could do this again in retrospect, we probably will know in the future that the need is more dental, perhaps, than medical. At least that was the case this time. And we could certainly use maybe 2, 3 times as many dentists and support staff.
Thank you for your efforts.
Oh, you bet. No problem.
Thank you. Any other questions of Bob? Thank you, Bob. Appreciate what you've done and all of those that assisted as well. And we will be getting a update or a final tally from Delta Regional Authority Chairman Massengale and some of those folks, and we'll share that with you as well. New business bids, Greg Williams.
First bid I have tonight is for the cemetery, the annual herbicide application for weed control and to minimize the mowing. This was a budgeted repair and maintenance item. Notification was given through the State Gazette and direct to 4 vendors. I had 1 no response and 3 responsive bids. So I recommend that we award the bid to Cole's Custom Applications for $20,468.
Heard the recommendation. We'll entertain a motion to approve this.
So move.
Motion from Robert Taylor Jr. Is there a second? Second. Second from John White. Any discussion?
Greg, have these people had it before, or is it somewhat
Yes,
different?
he has the current, well, he just got through with the contract, and he's had it 2 of the 3 times we bid it out.
And everything has been successful
Yes.
with his service?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the stormwater management. It is a trailer-mounted 6-inch trash pump with suction and discharge hoses for emergency use. There was $32,000 budgeted. This was advertised in the State Gazette and directed 5 vendors. I had 2 no response. 1 did not meet the specs. So I would recommend to award the bid to ICM of Memphis for $25,980.75.
You've heard the recommendation. Entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Jewel Horner, second from Joan White. Any questions?
Greg, is this replacing a piece of equipment we have?
No, we've not had one. We've had need for one several different times, but we've not had one until now.
Thank you.
It is budgeted.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Have a motion, a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Next item is for the Water Department. This is an open purchase order. Back 2 or 3 meetings ago, I had you approve one to a different vendor. The Water Department has decided to try a different brand of meter, and so we want to keep the amount the same. Everything will be the same. It'll just be a different vendor. So I need to get your approval to change the vendor to Consolidated Pipe and Supply for $30,000.
You've heard the recommendation. Would entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Motion from Bob Kirk, second. Second from Joan White. Any discussion?
This is the first time we've had this brand, the Neptune. We've had Badger in the past.
We've had Badger. We've had several different kinds. I'm not real sure if we've tried Neptune before, but they have researched it and selected that.
Yes, it's a good product as far
Yes.
as you know.
Yeah, they're a well-established company.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
The next item is for the Police Department. It is 6 SMG tactical automatic firearms to equip the Special Response Team. There was $10,300 budgeted. There was a price increase after this estimate was sought earlier in the budget process. However, there was enough money saved on a night vision scope that was also budgeted to cover that deficit. This was advertised in the State Gazette and direct to 3 vendors. I got 3 responsive bids. I recommend awarding the bid to Clyde Armory of Bogart, Georgia, $11,298.78.
Would entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
Motion,
Second.
Robert Taylor Jr., second Dennis Moody. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
And the last item is an annual maintenance contract for the Motorola radio system backbone we do every year. This is also budgeted. So I recommend awarding the bid to Motorola for $25,064.64.
You've heard the recommendation. Would entertain a motion to approve this.
So moved.
Who was that, Bart? Bob Kirk?
I'll second.
Second from Bart Williams. Any discussion?
Is this within the range of what it's been in the past?
It's exactly what it was last year.
Exactly. Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Thank you. Next on the agenda, Street and Sanitation Committee meeting from August 7, 2013, Chairwoman Jewel Horner.
Okay, the Street and Sanitation Committee met Wednesday, August 7th at 9 a.m. in City Hall. Members present included Mayor Holden, Alderman Kevin Chaney, and Committee Chairwoman Jewel Horner. Other Alderman board members, Terry Glover and Robert Taylor. Staff and others present, Thomas Mullins and Kevin Jocelyn, Codes Enforcement, John Damesworth and Greg Wilson, Sanitation Department, Tanya Sierra, State Gazette, and Kevin Norman. Chairwoman Jewel Horner opened the meeting with prayer. Following the prayer, Chairwoman Horner continued the meeting with discussion of new business concerning the current provisions of the city curbside debris trash removal policies and approaches to carry out the existing policies. Mayor Holden noted that since the city's 2003 amendments to the curbside pickup regulations, the process for the city has grown increasingly difficult to manage and control. Mr. John Damesworth provided 3 handouts presenting residential trash pickups and monthly curbside pickup measured in tons. This information included the annual and to the date surcharge paid to the state of Tennessee. Mr. Thomas Mullins provided photos of recent and significant curbside debris violations. It was noted that the main abusers of the regulations for residential trash pickup are commercial business operators and rental property owners. The committee made note that in order to improve these conditions, the city must review the current ordinances for potential amendment. These may include providing intense public awareness of current and amended policies, develop a response to pickup requests, amend contractor and construction debris issues, make guidelines more strict regarding issues such as appliances, amend trash pickup policies attaching new fees for illegal dumping, contractor, tenant, and landlord abuse with specific notification to landlords and contractors. In conclusion, the committee agreed to have the appropriate city administrative offices review these concerns and prepare information to present to the committee at a future committee meeting. With no further business, the meeting adjourned at 9:45 a.m.
Thank you. I would make note that Board Member Bart Williams was at that meeting as well. I think we let him off those present, so we'll make that change. Before the meeting started, I passed out 2 bits of information. The first one is the current City of Dyersburg residential trash pickup regulations. It was handed out at that meeting. This is what the city established back in 2003. The committee asked us, John, myself, and Thomas Mullins to look at that regulation, and also passed out a proposed new regulation, which is this handout. And I would just ask that the Alderman review this. If you have any suggestions that you want to pass our way, any changes you'd like to see made, or any ideas that you have. And then, again, this is just the first draft of that request from the committee. So if you want to look at that, then we'll have another sanitation committee meeting, and we'll hopefully adopt this. So just want to let you know what this was. Any questions about that meeting? Thank you, Jewel. Steve Anderson, financial update.
I wanted to give you all an update on some of our outstanding bond issues. I gave you all a sheet before the meeting that pertains to the school bonds that you all approved a couple of months ago for various capital projects for the school system. We've been working through the process of getting these bonds sold for the last couple of months, and they were sold about a week and a half ago. We received 4 bids. The low bid was from First Tennessee Bank, 3.79%. That's on a 20-year fixed rate, so that was a good rate, a little below what we had projected. We also were rated during the process. The bonds were rated, and we received an A rating with a stable outlook from Standard & Poor's, which that's a very good rating, and I think is a good reflection of our financial situation. The bonds were closed last Friday. We received the funds in the amount of $9,484,934.95. We were required to put these funds in a new account to be held separately from any other city funds. So we set up that account, place those funds in there, and then we'll hold that money in our account, and then the school system will request funds from us as they spend money, and we will allocate that to them. They submitted their first request last week in the amount of $1,148,037.53, and we got them a check for that money on Friday. So they were able to pay for the projects that they had already completed, and from this point forward, we'll be able to request funds and receive them the same day for any new projects. Has anybody got any questions about that?
Steve, refresh my memory, if you will, about they think they'll spend this money over what sort of period of time?
They've got to spend it within 3 years.
Within 3 years?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I know he gave us some projected construction on some different things for school when we was talking about the budget, and I didn't know how long it was spread out.
It's 3 years. They've got a long list, and of course, a lot of the things they can only do in the summertime when school's out, so they'll probably take the full 3 years.
Full 3 years, okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
I got a question, Steve, and it's not about the school bond, though. Back around the time we were doing this year's budget, there were some highly publicized questions about the our pension plan, and its condition as far as the, adequate funding. And I remember that you were going to sit down with, I think, trustees of the fund or something like that, within a month or so. So I was just curious about what we've learned about that.
I don't recall a conversation where I was going to sit down with the trustees.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we will be receiving a new actuarial study within the next month or so.
Okay.
Maybe 2 months. We
Okay.
get that done every 2 years.
Okay.
That they're working on that now. It should be out. Usually it comes out in October, so we'll have a little better idea then.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions? Thank you, Steve. Thank you for all your work and help in getting this done. And of course, we're able to do this with the assistance of the school system and those in the community that have contributed towards this. And it's good that to know that we have a good financial rating, an A rating, a stable rating, and able to borrow this money with no tax increase will be paid back by sales tax generated. So thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. You got something else too, right?
I do. I just want to give a quick update also on our outstanding loan that we have through the Tennessee Municipal Bond Fund, which we, I guess it's been about 2 years. September of 2011, I think, is when that was issued. But we talked about this some back during the budget process, but I don't think I had actual figures for you at that time. But the original amount of that loan was not to exceed $4.5 million. Through June 30th of this year, the amount that we have drawn on that loan is $2,911,089, leaving a balance of $1,561,999.11 that we have access to. I think we've got until September of next year to use those funds if we choose.
Do we have projects that this money might be designated for? Or is
We actually designated some in this year's budget.
Okay. Not the whole.
Not the whole amount.
$1.5 million.
Not the whole amount.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thanks, Steve. We appreciate it very much. Next item on the agenda, report from Alderman Bob Kirk.
Mayor's going to surprise you, but I don't have anything.
Wow. Bart Williams.
I'm trying to recover from the surprise. I want to underscore something Bob said earlier. Bob Jones read a lengthy list of people we're indebted to for the Delta Health Fair, and he, as much as anyone, carried the flag on that and helped pull it off. So I want to note once again his efforts in making that happen and helped. Probably, I'm sure there's a finite number, but it seems like countless people benefited from that procedure. I want to thank Dale Snyder and the street department. They connected a couple of unconnected sidewalks on Troy Avenue with a little artful piece of concrete work, and that's much appreciated and probably much needed. And I want to emphasize on the curbside pickup. I know we're going to work on publicizing these regulations, and I noticed one of the things on your recommendation, the knuckle boom trucks enable us to be so prompt and to offer that service, and yet I think a lot of our citizens maybe inadvertently make it difficult for those people by piling their trash in places where it's hard to maneuver those machines close to guy wires and utility poles. I saw some today, yard waste stacked up right up against one of the telephone terminal boxes or whatever, those gray things that AT&T has that stick up out of the ground. I don't think that's going to work very well when they try to pick that up. And I also noticed along Tucker Street a sidewalk completely blocked off, and that puts pedestrians in peril. So I'm glad that we have that in the draft for our pickup regulations, that you can't block a sidewalk. And hope citizens will pay attention to those issues. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Glover?
I still appreciate the mowing and the pickup that's being done over in the Milltown area and in my ward. So activity's going on big time. Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin?
I don't have anything. Thank you.
Ms. Jewell?
I don't have anything.
Dennis?
Mayor, I know I've got a list, I haven't given it to you, of several yards that need mowing again. I hope we can do something. It seems like that some of these people, they will mow only when they're summoned to court. And, of course, I know it takes too long by then to get anything done. Also, these people that are mowing, let's remind them too to not mow the grass out on the edge of the street, because then it clogs up the storm sewers when we have a rain. So if you're going to mow the yard and put it out in the street, make sure you pick it up, because we could have problems later on from that. But hopefully we can have something done on all this yard mowing, and I know there's probably some more houses too that need to be torn down, so we'll work on those. That's all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ms. Jones?
I have about four or five people calling about the spraying there at the mosquitoes. That's really, yeah, early morning and night. Ooh, it's just awful. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Ms. Jones?
That's all.
Thank you. Robert?
I just want to thank you and the chief and assistant chief and Investigator Williams for coming to the community meeting, and your presence is being felt. We appreciate it.
Thank you. 2 or 3 things I passed out. I gave a grant update to all the board as of August 15th, 2013. The projects we're involved in, the amount of the grant, the progress stage, and this is about the 3rd time I've updated this since last December. But you'll see where we are: design phase complete, bid phase, under construction, environmental complete, so on and so forth. So total grants that we're currently working on $11,810,000. So just want to give you that update as well. Also, during the budget process, we talked about delinquent notices that the city of Dyersburg has continued to send out. We have notified our citizens and our customers. We posted at City Hall. We've been putting it on our bills that we send out. Effective September 1st, we will no longer send out a second notice or a delinquent notice to the folks that have utility services with us. We checked around. There's no other utility companies that we're aware of that send a second notice. And what happens with that, we send a second, it's called a red card. Y'all might have seen them. We send that red card out, and lots of times it's not deliverable, and we pay postage back to the city. So the price of the cards, the postage out, the postage in, the labor, the manpower, and we estimate we're going to save anywhere from $13,000 to $15,000 a year by not sending out the delinquent notices. And we're trying our best to educate folks that we're not going to do this. So I pass that out to each one of y'all as well. So if you'd help us get the word out about that, we appreciate it. We'll put it on social media as well. But anything else? We're adjourned. Thank you.